It's Saturday today. Mum and I are going to go see the new How to Train Your Dragon film, live action, even though it's dragons. I am a huge fan of the original How to Train Your Dragon trilogy. How to Train Your Dragon 2 is a masterpiece. Honestly, I don't know what I'm going to make of it. I know they only made the film to promote the new theme park. However, I hope it is still at least a good film. Toothless looks really good. I haven't heard amazing things about the actors, unfortunately. I like that Stoic's original voice actor is playing Stoic. That should be really good, but we will see. I think I'm too precious of this film, the original animated film, so I honestly don't think I'm going to enjoy it very much at all, but I'm going to give it a chance. I was also really protective of the Lilo and Stitch film as well, so the animated one's always just going to be better, but I still want to support the franchise, so I'm going to go see the live action film. Honestly, what I actually want to do is go visit the theme park because that looks amazing. Everyone is obsessed with that hiccup actor, and for good reason. He is amazing. He's so brilliant. He's got that voice down to a T. Fingers crossed the film's good. I'm really excited to see how they've done the Red Death. That will be cool. Yesterday, my friend's wedding invite came in the post. Look, she made them herself. They're little... It's so cute. And it came on like this kind of gothic-esque old-timey paper. I am so excited to attend. It's going to be such a lovely day. I actually met this friend through Comic-Con years ago at Bristol Anime Con, and I was cosplaying Levi, and we just have been friends ever since. Yeah, to be invited to their wedding is just so wholesome of them, and it was lovely making a friend through the cosplay community and through our love of Attack on Titan. I'm really excited to be going. She's just so talented and so cute. Guess who finally got the Umbreon packaging? After visiting McDonald's far too many times. It was getting too close to the end of the promotion that I actually said to the guy, hey, do you happen to have the Umbreon packaging? And he was like, what one's that? And I went, it's like a black rabbit. And he was like, yes, we've got one left. He very kindly put it in my Happy Meal. I really do feel if they'd made the Charizard Holo and the Umbreon Holo in these, people would have gone even crazier for them. I'm really glad they did put Umbreon and Charizard in. I do think they should have made them Holo. Nice on a sunny day. Got some cookies. Yeah, you can fall asleep in here very easily. Back home now from Cheltenham. So, How to Train Your Dragon live action. In all honesty, it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. A lot better. The main thing I found really jarring for this live action is the fact that Toothless looks great. Toothless looks exactly how he does in the animated classic. During the film, the biggest thing that stood out to me was how different Toothless looks in terms of stylization compared to the other dragons. So the other dragons, such as Stormfly and Hookfang, they look like they have been redesigned as realistic dragons. If you compare them side by side to their original animated counterparts, they have clearly been stylized to align with the idea of what we associate as live action. So realism as much as you can get with dragons, very dinosaur-esque, smaller eyes in proportion to what we would consider live action. And that's great because if they're going for live action, they're going for realism. But Toothless, you can't really do that with Toothless without causing his design to get completely warped as to what people want and what you can essentially market. Toothless is a very cute character. Same with Stitch. I'm pretty sure Chris Sanders designed both Stitch and Toothless, and you can really tell. And they are both incredibly marketable characters. You think about how much Stitch merchandise there's been over the years, not just for live action, but over the years, and Toothless as well. They both have the big eyes, the large head, very caricature, very popular, very marketable. And what I found is that if you put this live action Toothless next to the other dragons in the lineup, he actually stands out an awful lot because Toothless looks identical to his original animated counterpart, which is great because they know that sells. However, if you put him in the lineup with the other dragons who have been redesigned to be realistic, he just stands out. They've basically copy and pasted Toothless's original model and design and just updated him with realism textures. And he looks great. He does look good, but he doesn't look live action, if that makes sense. Whilst I felt the other dragons did. But in doing that, the other dragons do lose their caricatureness, their ability to emote. And it's really important for a character like Toothless that is very emotive, that very much relies on the audience to be able to engage and react to his emotions and find him cute. He has to stay in his original design to be able to work in that form of animation. Hookfang and Stormfly, they don't have that ability to emote as well as they did anymore because they've been given these realistic features. It's very similar to The Lion King. You take a classic 2D design and turn it into a photorealistic lion, you can't emote them half as well as you can in the original caricature design. These characters are designed for animation to be able to emote in a way that can only be done in animation. And these are why these films work so well and why these character designs work so well in the form of animation. So that was my biggest issue with the film, is that Toothless looked so different compared to the other dragons. They were not in line in terms of style and design. Going back to How to Train Your Dragon, I'm struggling to verbalise the point I want to get across regarding Toothless's design compared to the other dragons. I messaged my animated friends because I'm trying to think of the correct terminology / words that I want to use. My friend Emily very helpfully said that it's almost a visual dissonance. Dissonance? Is that the correct word? Can I read? Because the designs side by side are no longer harmonious. I think harmonious was the word I was looking for. Because if you literally put this new Toothless design next to the other dragons, he does really stick out like a sore thumb in terms of proportions. His eyes, they just don't work in harmony together. I understand why they couldn't redesign Toothless completely, because he needs to be marketable. He still needs to be cute. He still needs to be able to emote in a cute way, in a recognisable way, which his original caricature kind of design was geared to. He's much easier to animate in a more emotive way if his character design stays as it is. Whilst if you take Hookfang, he now cannot emote in a similar way to how he can in his original model, because his design is just not geared towards that. And then that brings me to my point of why bother making live actions when you have to redesign the characters into hyperrealism, which then no longer translate as well in terms of performance and emotion compared to the original, because you're going to lose that charm. These original dragon characters were designed in a way to work well, to be able to emote in animated feature format, whilst if you try to apply those same gestures, emotions onto live action hyperrealistic models, it just doesn't translate as well. And that's why they had to keep Toothless the same design in order to keep that charm. But it's less important for the other dragons. They just needed to look more realistic to fit in with the production style, especially Toothless's eyes. But they could never change those. They're far too iconic. They're far too important in order for him to be able to express himself in those cute mannerisms that we are so familiar with from the original film. Toothless and the other dragons are no longer harmonious in terms of style, because Toothless got to keep his caricature original design, whilst the other dragons had to be moulded in to fit the realism live action. It would have been really interesting if they'd modelled the other dragons very similar to how they look in the original film and then applied hyperrealism textures. Probably would have still looked really jarring because they just don't work alongside real humans. That would have been interesting. That would have been an interesting blend. I did really love how the Red Death was done. I could really feel the weight when she was trying to get through the clouds. Stoic was great. I think I always knew that Stoic was going to be good though, because it's the original voice actor. There were some shots where they made Stoic look really big and powerful and it was really great. And then some shots he just looked quite small. But overall I think Stoic was a highlight. The actor that played Hiccup really surprised me. I was a bit worried about how he was going to portray Hiccup, because I do think he looks a little old for the role. Not too old, but definitely older. I think his mannerisms and his acting was really good actually. I was really impressed. Honestly though, the other characters I really struggled to get on board with. I didn't see the characters in them. I don't know why. I just didn't. They were just fine. I do think overall that is a much better live action than what Lilo and Stitch was by far. I think it was really true to the original story. I did enjoy it. There were some bits that just you're never going to get the essence of, especially like the original flight test scene. I did struggle with some of the performances. I think with every single live action I'll say this, just watch the original. It's so much better. It's so much more enjoyable. However, I don't think it was a bad film. I would happily put it on again. Of course, I'm always going to pick the animated feature over the live action, but I was pleasantly surprised because I was going into that thinking, oh my god, it's going to be awful. It was actually okay. It was a decent film. It was a good film. My biggest issue with the film was definitely that Toothless just was in a completely different style compared to the other dragons, but I understand why they kept him very close to his original design. He's marketable. He needs to be able to look like that, to be able to emote in those cute mannerisms that we associate with the animated film with. There is a reason these designs work well in animation and not realism. That being said though, the other dragons did look cool and they did look what we would consider realistic dinosaur kind of. I hate calling these live actions because yes, they've got live action actors and that works for live action films that have characters such as, I don't know, Aladdin for example, that's main characters are humans. But when you say live action, when it's about dragons, what have we realistically got to base live action dragons off of other than dinosaurs? So we went to the Everyman in Cheltenham, which is called Tivalio. It's basically a really expensive cinema because you have a really comfy sofa and they bring you like hot food to your chair. So it's definitely like a treat. It's almost like a date night, but it was really nice. The sofas are so comfy and we actually had burger and fries delivered to our chair and it was really good food. But my mum actually was given a broken glass and she was drinking it and she actually got some shards in her mouth and cut her mouth. So we gave the glass to the guys at the end and said, this is broken, throw this away. They were so apologetic. And to be fair, I can understand why. That is quite scary having a customer drinking glass. So they actually ended up giving us some guest passes so we can go there again for free, which is really nice because those tickets are really expensive. How much were they? An adult ticket is £18.45. £18.45! So I guess it's good that we've got a free ticket even though it was at the expense of drinking glass. A really fun cinema to go to. Very, very luxurious, very fun. I'm really surprised at myself that there's not much for me to moan about How to Train Your Dragon. Yeah, they did alright. They did alright. I think some of the colour grading could have been a little bit better. If they do a sequel, I'll definitely be going. I would love to see what Cloud Jumper and wildebeest look like in photorealism. They'll look amazing. Also, I actually really liked Nick Frost as Gobber. I've seen some people moan about him online, but I thought he was pretty good. I thought he was a really nice comic, really charming character. Then again, I do just love Nick Frost. Whilst we were in Cheltenham, we also went to my favourite troll bead shop. The guy who owns it is a really nice jeweller. Like, he knows our name. He's like, oh, you come to see the troll beads? I'm like, yes, please. I wore my troll bead bracelet today. But my mum and I got a troll bead each. My mum ended up getting this guy. Oh god, can I show this? I'll try and show these off. It's not easy. So mum got that one. My one is so gorgeous. It is this. It is basically a climbing ivy branch. Oh my goodness, it's going to look so beautiful. It's not a traditional charm, if you like, but you can wear it as like a pendant necklace, or it can go on your bracelet, and you can put like a bead in the middle and use it as like a stopper. Just put the ivy on. Such a pretty charm. It's so subtle as well. Before we went to Cheltenham this morning, we actually stopped off in Siren, and it was Saturday, so they had the market on, and we picked up these cookies. Vanilla, and I've already eaten one of them, and it was delicious. It was a blueberry and custard stuffed cookie. Mum picked up a lemon curd one, and the other two are these guys. So this is pistachio cheesecake, and this is black velvet stuffed with pistachio knaff, I believe. And you meant to have them warm, but I just want to see what they actually look like inside. Oh my god, it actually has knaff in it. Ah, nice. I actually got knaff. Very good. And then this one, I was convinced it was matcha. They had pandan flavour, and I was like, oh, they must have matcha if they've got pandan, but no. So this is cheesecake stuffed pistachio. Whoa. They weren't kidding. They are literally stuffed with cheesecake. That's quite sharp. You said to heat these up, but I don't think you should heat up cheesecake, right? I can't believe that's actually got knaff in. I think that's really fun. So it's pistachio, cheesecake, and chocolate. I think the blueberry and custard one I had earlier was the best by far. So yeah, I think for the rest of the day now, I'm really excited because I am a FNAF girly. I always have been. I love FNAF. I don't care if that makes me cringe. I love it so much. But Secret of the Mimic came out yesterday, Friday the 13th. So I'm just going to go watch Dorco play it now, I think. I'm going to go watch this playthrough and then watch so many theory videos. I love FNAF. I love the theory. And the fact that this Secret of the Mimic one is kind of circus-esque is even more exciting to me. So FNAF came out, when did FNAF come out? 2014, I think? So just before I started uni. And every time a new FNAF game kept coming out. And because of early FNAF, basically there felt like there was a game every couple of months. When a new game came out, there was nothing more exciting than getting a Chinese and watching Markiplier play it. I used to love that. Honestly, peak YouTube times for me. I'm gonna go have a FNAF evening, I think. Father's Day today. Got my dad some socks and also a giant Cornish pasty that says Dad on it. Sometimes I forget how long and big this cat is. He's such a huge cat. I see so many cats on my walks and they're tiny. And I'm like, oh, Pablo, you're just massive. But he is generally a huge cat. This is my hand in comparison. Sorry, baby, I know you're fast asleep. I'm just saying how big you are. Whoa. Long cat. Very big cat. I was just looking up the cast after watching How to Train Your Dragon. And Mason, who plays Hiccup, he is 17. 17 years old. I could not believe that when I read that. I thought he was like 27 or something like that. So he would have been 16 when he was filming this. That is so impressive for a 16-year-old to be able to perform like that. Oh my god. So Nico's 20, which I can buy. And then like he's 27, yep, and then these guys are like 30. I just could not believe Hiccup was a 16-year-old when he was filming that film. Mason. Oh my god, that's impressive.
Oh. Yeah. Well done, Pablo.
Yes.
Just watch him though, because
Did very well, but that was good.
grab him. Oh, my poor Susan. Oh, well done, Pav. You're doing well.
Grab instead.
But it was when he went past her eyes, was right to
Yeah,
his
that
tail.
tail, I was
Absolute
worried
right to her
Because
tail.
honestly,
She's like, oh,
she's like her grip's like Lenny from like Cement.
okay,
Remember when she did your rabbit's age?
Yeah, she
It
did.
was just a waste of time.
Yeah, she's carried at that point, I know she's interested in stuff.
Yeah, but you like now if you dropped her, you wouldn't want to, but you'd feel a bit more.
Well, you probably wouldn't
Safer.
to start with. I wouldn't be
Yeah,
testing.
I'm not.
the
Yeah,
theory.
we're not bouncing her, but you know what I mean.
That's it.
If you'd have
Drop
dropped her,
test.
if you'd have dropped her in December, she's gone.
Oh,
Whereas now,
nice.
Just don't drop the baby. Would be my advice.
Oh, she's still determined.
It's like Cam from my entertainment class if you rolled off the bed and she spent the night in A&E. Like, can you imagine?
Hello. Pablo, that's you.
It was never a cough. She had a fake cough. It's retention.
No,
That's what
she-
George does.
she had a back cough.
It's Monday today, so tonight my parents and I are going to go see Warhorse at the Bristol Hippodrome. I saw Warhorse a couple of years ago with my mum, I think at the National Theatre, but it's been a long time since I've seen it. It's one of the best shows I've ever seen. It was a birthday gift for my mum from my dad, and I tagged along.
What flavor?
Matcha.
Top here is really nice.
Did you get any tapioca? Do you like it?
You know when Billy does the faces. It's good.
Gimbal. Let's go see.
Long of it, not around.
I can't even see if I'm in frame. Coming out, boo boo. You coming out? Come here, boo boo. Boo boo, come on. The weather's been really nice this week, so I am outside with the rabbits in the garden breeding Heartless. I am obsessed with it. I love it so much. The fact that it's got a gesture in it, right up my alley. When the weather's like this, I really do try to let the rabbits out for as long as I can. It is mid-afternoon, so it's still quite warm. I don't think I spoke about Warhorse actually. It was incredible, amazing. We had really good seats actually. The stalls were great, and the Hippodrome actually do Little Moons, which is the mochi ice cream. So I was very happy at Liverpool to have that. It was as good as I remember. I didn't realise how long it's actually been since I had seen it, but it was really nice to go out with my mum and my dad. We went to Chili Tea, which is a bubble tea shop / pancake shop as well, which I really love. Dad tried tapioca for the first time. Don't think he was a fan. As for Warhorse though, the two bits I remembered from the first time I saw it when I was little still stood out to me, which is when Top Fawn dies. Top Fawn's puppet is absolutely incredible. It's my favourite out of Joey and his. The first charge, also incredibly memorable. The charge before they call the interval. And then the bit that scared me, and I remember so much as a child, was when the tank comes on screen, when Joey's saying goodbye to Top Fawn's body, and like it's just so big and imposing. Such an incredible show. Also, my mum got me another one of the Tamagotchi collectibles. I did not have much luck with these last time I opened them, so fingers crossed I still get one I want. Either Mimechi or Kapachi or Mamamachi again. Just not the pink one. Please, not the pink one. Please, not the pink one. Please, not the pink one. Are you fucking shitting me? Unbelievable. It's becoming a bit of a joke at this point. I think I've got 4 of these now. 4. And I still haven't completed the set. Whatever.